a fan base thirsty for entertainment, for high-level, quality gymnastics that is a long time between drinks. The Bruins are back today hosting the Gymcats of the University of Arizona, and it's live on the Pac-12 network. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Westwood. It's Jim Watson along with Janae Honest, who left the house for the first time after her birthday celebration and is still a step slow, I bet. Let's talk about UCLA. Everybody wants to know what's going on with the Bruins. The ranking is 27th, usually in the top 10 at this point. They've had 2 road meets. They've underperformed. But now they're home, and they're getting healthy. Can they build back better now?
They absolutely can. The Bruins have so much potential, and they know this. They're incredibly talented. They have so much depth. And being back at home, they're incredibly hopeful that they will have a better meet this today and for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it always feels better coming home. UCLA's numbers are trending upwards. They're getting healthy. And, of course, they have the loaded roster. Olympians like U.S. silver medalist Jordan Childs.
She's really hit the ground running. It's been a marathon for her, from training for the Olympics, competing in the Olympics, going on tour, and walking straight onto campus for the collegiate season. She has high-intensity experience of competing and truly showed it on bars and vault last week.
UCLA will have 4 in the all-around today, including Jordan Childs. What about Brooklyn Moores, the Canadian Olympian and all-around finalist in Tokyo?
As you mentioned, another former Olympian. She was healing from injuries and really needed to slow down her training and avoid a tons of impact. She's someone who we need to look forward to in the all-around. She has a unique gymnastic style. You'll see her only do front and forward skills, like that double front we just see right there. Coach BJ said she's one of the best performers out there. Unique contemporary style and amazing to work with.
Scheduled on 2 events, vault and floor. And of course, floor elegance runs in the family. Both Brooklyn and her older sister Victoria, both Canadian national champions on the floor. What about Arizona? Well, the Gymcats come in with a modest ranking of 33, but this is a much better team that John Court brings to the coast than just last year. They are deeper, they are more talented, and they're younger. Perfect example of all of that, Emily Muller, the freshman from Cary, North Carolina.
Like you said, she's young. She's a freshman who is a leadoff in 2 events, and that really shows her as an athlete that she really knows how to set the tone for the rest of the rotation. She's calm, cool, and collected on all events.
Expected to go all around and leads off, as you just mentioned, both the vault and the bars. Lots to watch for today. Olympians, Pac-12 champions, and 2 teams in search of more. Bruins and the Gymcats in front of a live audience, both at Pauley and on the Pac-12 network. Open the doors, and she's back. Valerie Condos Field is in the house. Did she say hi to you? Because I haven't seen her.
No, I literally just looked across about 10 seconds ago and saw her hyping up the crowd, and it truly just made my day.
Well, she built the program from the ground up, multinational champions, of course, and all that she's done, resurrecting so many great careers, written books, a cancer survivor, you can go on and on. She's in the Bruin Hall of Fame, and she is born and raised as a Bruin. It's nice to see her here. And longtime assistant and now the head coach in his 3rd season, Chris Waller, helped lead the Bruins to 4 of those NCAA championships, 03, 04, 10, and the last one that you were part of in 2018. Well, Waller also has been a Bruin for a long time. He came here as a gymnast. 91 he graduated, 4-time All-American, 3-time NCAA champions, and was a 1992 Olympian. Across the way, John Court, longtime assistant coach at Arizona for both Bill Ryden and Tabitha Kim. But he is now in his 4th season as the head coach. Last year led Arizona to the regionals and a number 27 final ranking. He likes this team. We talked to him. He says, look, we're young, we're good, we're much not only deeper, but we're wider. We're good on all 4 events now. So they're excited about it. And for Arizona, coming off a home quad last week, they saw one of the best teams in the country in Oklahoma. They also saw conference foe Stanford. UCLA has been on the road twice. They had a road meet at Minnesota where they lost both Minnesota and Iowa, and then went to Corvallis last week, were beat by Oregon State in what turned out to be a tri-meet. UC Davis was added late to that. UCLA's been in a funk. There's been a lot of challenges. There's been a lot of distractions. But, Janae, they're back home. They're on familiar ground. They got to be feeling better about things. And I know you were around them during warm-ups. Do they seem like a happier team?
They're definitely very hopeful. They're doing their best to stay in a good mindset, and smiles on their face, and they just want to put on a good performance for the home crowd.
Yeah, they're pumping that crowd up right now. Again, 694 days. March 8th, 2020 against California. We were here, we did that meet, and a couple of days later, they shut down, well, not just California, but they shut down the country, and everybody went into their caves for a while. We sure have missed it because it's a great place to come. And Valerie Condos Field and Chris Waller and BJ Doss and Don Palangi have really built up this program. Huge following, biggest social media following in the country for any women's collegiate team. And now again, the team is loaded. All-stars, Pac-12 champions, Olympians up and down, and we have not seen their best gymnastics. I, for one, am getting impatient. I want to see it.
I'm also getting impatient as well, so I think we're in for a treat. Starting with Nora.
Yeah, Nora Flatley will start UCLA as the home team in the Olympic order. They begin on vault. Nora Flatley, a two-time U.S. national team member, has been on the vault in both meets and is coming off a season best 9.825 at Gill Coliseum in Corvallis a week ago. And we get underway at Poly.
Lutsenko full. She has beautiful form off the table, and it was a great landing. Just the slightest hop back.
Strange in the meet today is that there can be a lot of all-arounders. Flatley's going to go all-around. UCLA has 4 all-arounders. I can't remember when I've seen that. And Arizona has 3. Here's Emily Muller. We talked about her at the top of our show. One of those young athletes that her head coach, John Cordy, is so excited about. She was the North Carolina State vault champion a couple of years ago. Opens on bars.
Huge Tkachev. She gets so much air. Great transition to the low bar, as we call the bail. And she's going to finish off with a double A dismount. Missed that handstand a little bit, but stuck that landing.
Well, her bar scores have been good, but not great. A little muted. Not reaching 9.8 yet, but this one may.
She knew exactly where to put her hands, and she had sticky feet.
We're going to hold on to that landing. We will post the scores as we go back and forth with our tombstone graphic. So Nora Flatley led off for UCLA on the vault. We'll see if those numbers are in. And Kendall Poston is scheduled second for the Bruins. UCLA as a team on vault. And these numbers are so out of whack for those of us who've been around the program. UCLA is only ranked 46th in the country on this event. Normally they're top 15 for sure. You see both the start values and the scoring.
We're going to see a front entry from Kendall. So it's a different vault than the usual Yurchenko we see in college. A lot of power. Big step on that landing, so the judges may take a little bit more from that, but I think that's a really good vault for Kendall.
Well, she's a reliable scorer on this event. Almost all of her scores are at least 9.8 or better. Last year at 9.875 3 different times. Lineup again for Arizona. Muller went first, and Linton is scheduled to go second. Serena Linton, a junior from South Phoenix. And I believe this will be her debut on bars this year. Just the 3rd meet of the season with cancellations early.
John did mention she's always ready to go up on events that she has routines. And so far she's delivering well. That was a great handstand transition to the low bar. You always need to make sure you get your shoulders above the bar when you kip up into the handstand. Beautiful dismount, just the slightest scooch forward.
The high mark for her last year came on balance beam where she was the anchor spot, and she is scheduled in that same position today against the Bruins. Different mindset for Linton this year, more aggressive, going after things. It comes with maturity and confidence. So Flatley goes 9.85, posted 9.75. Malabuyo, Emma Malabuyo, the freshman from Milpitas up in the Bay Area, has been on the vault in both meets. Her best so far is a 9.725. That's going to be better.
She brings a lot of power, and you see she gets great pop off that table. Great form in the air. Just the slightest, I don't think she moved her feet. very much at all.
Gets up to top speed with a short runway.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with
slide
that.
and scooch back, but that's going to be a very great score.
Yeah, since she hasn't even gone 9.8 yet, we can already say that's going to be a season best for her. Well, already you can see UCLA has a little more joy in their gymnastics. They're having a little more fun, and it's going to be contagious. It's going to spread throughout, and we'll see how Arizona reacts to that as well. Muller, 9.75 opener for the Gym Cats of the U of A. Still waiting the score for Linton. And then Malia Hargrove on deck.
On bars for Arizona, Malia Hargrove.
Hargrove has been up and down on bars. Had a career high 9.8 at South Utah in their opener. Then in a quad meet at home last week, fell on bars. Got to put that out of your mind.
And you see some clean lines from Malia. She's fluid yet aggressive on this event.
You know, when we talked with John Cord about Malia, he said she feels like she's trying to make something happen. Can you try too hard on bars?
Yes, you can definitely try too hard in this sport in general. You don't want to overload your mind with too many corrections and forcing something. You really just need to let your body do what it knows how to do.
The bars fall last week, and this is from her head coach right there, John Cord, was scary. And for gymnasts, sometimes it takes a little while to work through that. You know, you've been on this apparatus so many times in training in the gym, in meets, club competition, but all of a sudden it feels new again.
That was great. It looks like the full pirouette she did before, she was trying to finish it in that handstand and she ended up going over, but she completed it in the handstand that second time, which is what you want to do. That's what the judges are looking for. Last is the dismount.
Well, that was a big moment for her, I think, personally, right?
Yes.
Coming back from that. Putting it all together. What happened at the start of this?
So she looked like she was trying to complete her full pirouette in the handstand. She has a tendency to finish the turn after that handstand line. And she was able to do that in the second try. And she finished it off with a good dismount.
You know, last year, this team wasn't as deep, and John was telling us that Malia felt like she had to carry the ball for this team who was doing a lot. And now it's a different role. They pulled some of the pressure back from her. Doesn't have to do quite so much. Brooklyn Moores.
Same ball from Kendall. Brings a lot of power as well. Just had the slightest scooch back. She did land with her chest down, so the judges may take off a little bit more for that, but it was the same front entry ball that we saw from Poston. But she knew exactly where she was, so that should be a pretty good score.
Had a 9.85 in Minnesota in the opener. That was her best of the year. Big step at Oregon State. Limited her to a 9.65 last week. The score should be closer to the former. So Hargrove with the trouble, just over 9.175. You can drop that score. Remember, 6 compete, but only 5 count. Elena Dietz. Dietz, a regular in the middle of the bars lineup, had a 9.825 last week in the quad meet at home against Oklahoma and Stanford.
That was a good full pirouette, directly connected into a Tkachev. She did finish that full pirouette out of that handstand range. Short on that last cast handstand as well, but we'll see what she does on the dismount. Finds that stick.
There you go. Elena, just a sophomore, and you can see that John Cord now is recruiting all over the country. We already talked about Muller being from North Carolina. Dietz is from Maple Grove, Minnesota. Jessica Castles is from England. So, you know, when you ask John, he'll tell you, you got to go where the talent is. Now, certainly the Phoenix and Tucson area, there's lots of great club gymnastics, so they can mind the home fields, but got to go far and wide. Moore's got a 9.8, second highest score for UCLA. Jordan Childs. How many teams in the country go back-to-back with Olympians?
Let's see. I don't know. Not very many, it seems like. She changed up her vault. She does a Kazumatsu full now. And I think that was a great switch for her from the Yurchenko double full.
Coming off a career high 9.875. It was also the team high on this event at Oregon State in that tri-meet.
So So with Kazumatsu, she's going to do a quarter turn on the table and do a full twist right out of that. And I think that they found that sweet spot with the good vault for her.
Arizona's only ranked 51st on the bars, but they have a chance to pull out a decent rotation here. No more room for mistake after Hargrove's fall. So Dean's 9-7. They need to bump these numbers with McCabe and Fears at the back end. Bailey McCabe, sophomore from up in Washington, Maple Valley, just outside of Seattle. Solid on this event at a 9.825 in the opener at Southern Utah. Should be her only event.
Head coach John mentioned that she has a longer routine than most. Usually shorter is better in college, but they gave her the freedom to choose the routine she wanted to do, the skills she wanted to compete, and she's comfortable with this, and it's working out in her favor so far.
What's the advantage? More skills of going longer?
I think there really isn't an advantage. I know because it just gives more room for more deductions if you do more skills. But if the gymnast is comfortable with doing that certain routine and she hits well, then...
I like what you said, though. Shorter is better.
Shorter
Get up,
is
get it
better.
done, and get off.
It
But it
was
works
a
for her.
beautiful dismount. She stuck that one, so I think that should be another great score.
Well, so much in gymnastics is about comfort level, right?
Yes.
Whatever makes you feel best and most confident when you get up. So one more to go on each side to complete the rotation. Shay Campbell is expected in the anchor spot. There she waits. Shay Campbell, 2021 Pac-12 Freshman of the Year. She was also the co-champion on the floor. We'll get to that much later today. Three-time Texas State champion and a U.S. junior champion on the vault. Expect something special.
A lot of height and distance from Shay. She gets so much power from that pop off the horse. Great form. She keeps those legs and toes squeezed together, and she knew exactly where she was landing and didn't give the judges much to take from. Notice how she flared out too. She flared out her arms to prepare for that landing.
She had a 9.8 on that vault last week, a 9.9 in the opener, and I think it's going to be closer to that 9.9, 9.825 from McCabe. Allison Fears to close out the rotation for Arizona. And again, the pressure's on. They've already burned a fall. So Fears needs to come through. She opened her career with a 9.85 in the anchor spot at Southern Utah, but she too had a fall last week. Handstand was vertical. Seems clean and not rushed so far.
Allison brings beautiful form. Her knees and toes are squeezed together. I think that's why she's in the anchor spot. That was an amazing routine.
Well, that's what they needed. Like, hey, you got to stay in the meet early on. You don't want to give it away in that first rotation with the fall. It's going to happen. But like John Cord told us, we're not only more talented, we're deeper and we're wider. We're better across the board on every event. And they show it by coming right back. Chris Waller with some words of encouragement. It has been a tough time for the Bruins in Westwood, both inside and outside of the gym. And Waller circles the wagons. Team first in Westwood.